Hey, welcome to Nourishable Raw, an authentic conversation about nutrition with me, Dr. Lara. Today is Tuesday, January 29th of 2019, and that puts us 5 days away from Super Bowl 53 between the New England Patriots, led by Tom Brady, and the LA Rams. I'm not actually that big of a football fan, but all of this Super Bowl craze has been getting me thinking about Tom Brady's diet, also known as the TB12 method. So what is this diet? It is all organic, non-GMO, gluten-free, added sugar-free, white flour-free, caffeine-free, MSG-free, dairy-free, mushroom-free, nightshade-free, aka no tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, or potatoes, and it replaces iodized salt with pink Himalayan salt. So what does that leave in the diet? Lots of veggies, fruits, gluten-free whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, and organic animal proteins like fish, poultry, and meat, all prepared with minimal processing by his personal chef. So is this diet healthy for Tom Brady? It sure seems so. He is a superstar quarterback and he's been performing exceptionally well despite the fact that he's over 40 years old. However, anecdote is not evidence. So today I'm going to share my nourishable thoughts on the TB12 diet as it relates to you. Okay, first the things I like about the diet. Although I don't think it's necessary to completely eliminate added sugars, reducing added sugar consumption is definitely beneficial for health. And I also like the shift away from refined white flours towards whole grain products. This is definitely a step in the right direction for increased nutrient density, though it's not necessary for most people to actually go gluten-free. Now, since this is such a restrictive diet, you would end up prepping most of your food at home. So this is going to reduce consumption of highly processed food. This is a plus, though it might be unsustainably time-consuming. And overall, I do like the emphasis on nuts, seeds, fish, fruits, veggies, and whole grains because these are all really nutrient-dense foods. And now the things I don't like about the diet. First, eliminating those nightshade vegetables. So again, those are the tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, and potatoes. These foods are eliminated because apparently the alkaloids in them cause inflammation, but this hasn't been borne out by science. In fact, all of these foods are really high in other antioxidant, anti-inflammatory nutrients, like the lycopene in tomatoes and the beta-carotene in the peppers. These foods also form the foundation of the Mediterranean diet, a dietary pattern that is considered to be one of the healthiest and has consistently been backed by science. Caffeine-free is probably unnecessary for most people. Now, if you're sensitive to caffeine, go ahead and eliminate it. But if you tolerate it well and you enjoy it, then there's actually an abundance of evidence showing that regular tea and coffee consumption is beneficial for health, provided that you don't pour a bunch of added sugar into it. I'm honestly really confused about the mushroom restriction. Mushrooms are a super healthy, high-fiber food, a complete source of amino acids, and one of the few natural dietary sources of vitamin D. Plus, they're environmentally sustainable to produce, so increasing mushroom consumption is both good for you and good for the planet. And about that iodized salts. So not only is eliminating iodized salt founded on conspiracy theory pseudoscience, it would make it impossible to ever eat food outside of your home again. We need to eat iodine in order to make thyroid hormone. Back before the 1920s, large landlocked regions of the US were iodine deficient, and this caused goiters and cretinism in babies. When salt is fortified with iodine, these deficiencies completely disappeared, and is considered to be one of the major public health accomplishments. Going organic or non-GMO isn't necessary for personal health. Science hasn't demonstrated any human health benefits from eating organic, or any harms from eating GMO foods. Plus, this is going to make the diet more expensive and less accessible to regular people. And in my opinion, worst of all, this feel of needing to only eat organic might actually reduce fruit and vegetable consumption if organic produce is inaffordable. Overly restrictive diets just aren't sustainable in the long haul because they're so tough to stick with, especially if you don't have a personal chef preparing all of your meals. Now, there are some health conditions where restrictive diets are absolutely necessary. So think food allergies or going gluten-free for celiac disease. I have an anaphylactic allergy to peanuts and all legumes, so I have to eliminate these foods from my diet, otherwise I'll die. But just because I'm allergic to them doesn't mean that everybody else should eliminate these super healthy foods. That all being said, this diet is actually pretty healthy. It's just that it's unnecessarily restrictive and only accessible to people who have a bunch of disposable income. So overall, Tom Brady's diet may work for him, but it's not going to turn you into an all-star quarterback or a supermodel. Anecdote is not evidence. And this diet is backed much more by buzzwords than by science. And as a nutrition scientist, I get very worried when there are mixed messages out there that can reduce fruit and vegetable consumption. The reality is eating healthy just doesn't have to be that complicated. Reach for fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, and lean animal proteins if you choose to eat them. Fresh or frozen, conventional or organic, just eat those fruits and veggies. That's what science tastes like. Thanks for tuning in to Nourishable Raw. If you have any questions that you want me to do a Nourishable Raw episode on, leave them in the comments and be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all things nutrition.